I'm gonna give it a minute, and before I do anything else, before I try to light it, I am gonna put the backing screw back on, if I can. Let's see, there we go. And I'm just gonna go and twist it back on real quick, just like that. And I'm gonna take my multi-tool, and I'm just gonna tighten it, not too much, just enough. I don't want to over-thread it or anything like that by any means. And there we go. All right, I'm gonna try that in a minute, see if it works, and then after that, we're gonna get back. We're gonna get back to opening up the Sagura Advent Calendar. Let's give it a go though. Let's see if it wants to work. Whoo, there it goes. Oh man, that is awesome. That is so cool. And I love the look of this little lighter right here. It really reminds me of a Dunhill lighter. It looks so fancy. It looks so classy. I love it. It's a Marlboro branded Dunhill lighter. That's my take at least. I think it looks fantastic. Let's light it one more time. Oh, 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 oh. Maybe I should put more fluid in it? Hold it upside down for a minute. New lighters, new experiences. You know what I'm saying. There we go. I'm just gonna let it burn for a moment. And close it, just like that. Very, very, very cool stuff. Very, very, very cool stuff in my personal opinion. And I do think without further ado, now that I've covered this lighter and the little pocket ashtray that came with the Advent calendar, I think it's time to continue covering the Advent calendar. And specifically, what is inside of the Advent calendar. Since today is Christmas, I'm going to be opening up each and every single door. I've already opened up this one, but I'm going to be opening up this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, all the Advent calendar without a bunch of Marlboro Reds. That's what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? Let's go ahead. All right, day number 16. Got to be careful not to open up the 25th. Got to be careful not to open up this one quite yet. All right, let's go ahead and see, though. Day number 16. Let's see if I can get it opened up. Oh, there we go. Just like that. All right, what are we looking at? What are we looking at? We're looking at another Marlboro Red. Hey, as said, it would not be a Marlboro Advent calendar without a bunch of Marlboro Reds. That's what I'm saying. And let's go and see. All right there for the cigarettes to sit in the inside of this is red as
Fine.
And I gotta admit, I wasn't sure if I was gonna be using the pocket ashtray during the smoke, but I think I can say that I most definitely want to use it, because I think I might need both of my hands to try to hold and open the cigarette advent calendar. So, you know, I'm thinking, let's go and use the little pocket ashtray, and I'm gonna take another hit or two. And I'm gonna go ahead and just go like that, and I'm just gonna put it in, and I'm gonna put this down on the ground just like that. I don't know quite how hot it's gonna get, so I don't wanna put it on my table, but I'm gonna leave it down there just like that, and I'm gonna take a hit whenever I want one. Gotta admit though, that cigarette, it be hitting. It be hitting. The Marlboro Blend 27s, they are pretty solid after all. I am an enthusiast of them. Whenever I do have a pack, I will acknowledge. But, let's go ahead and go over the next 24 days worth of cigarettes. So let's go and cover number 2 now. Let's go and see what's inside this one. So inside this one, we get, and let's see if I can get it open up. I think I'm gonna have to use my pinky once again. Let's see, it's a little bit tough. Oh, there's a bug. There we go. All right, I might try it from this side. I might try it from this side, actually. That might be a little bit easier. There we go, just like that. So what is the second cigarette in this advent calendar? We are looking at a, Marlboro Red. Very nice, very cool. No complaints on my behalf. Let's go and see what's in number 3. All right, number 3 is Marlboro Black. Ooh, very nice, very nice. Marlboro Black Red, I assume. Very, very, very cool. All right, next up, we got day number 4. And we are looking at, what are we looking at? What are we looking at? We're looking at a Marlboro Menthol Slate. Ooh, that's a rare cigarette to find these days. But there's one in this cigarette advent calendar. Love it, love it. Let's go ahead. Get day number 5 opened up. It's a little bit tough, but we got it. All right, day number 5 is a Marlboro Gold. We got a Marlboro Gold for day number 5. Very, very, very nice. You know, Marlboro Golds, not exactly my personal preference, but I will not deny a Marlboro Gold if given one in a cigarette advent calendar. So I will absolutely be smoking that without a doubt. And we're already through the first row. Now, I think I want to cover kind of what the inside of this looks like as well before we go over any of the other ones. So I'm going to go and finish off this first cigarette real quick. And then after that, we're going to go and continue covering the other rows. But before that, I'm going to go over what the inside looks like, because it looks like there's little holes for the cigarettes to sit in and everything like that, so they don't get like all messed up like when you buy it and you're kind of maybe like throw it in your car and stuff like that kind of thing. And when it's being shipped and whatnot. Let's go and take my last couple hits of this cigarette, though. And I'm gonna go ahead and stub it out, and I'm gonna go ahead and take a sip of water. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna close up the little pocket ashtray, just so if the wind picks up, the ash doesn't go flying everywhere. And the bottom of the ashtray definitely does get a bit warm. Definitely does get a bit warm. It is metal after all. I need a sip of water though. Oh my goodness. My throat did okay with smoking that cigarette, but I think if I continue talking, it's gonna be messed up. So I'm gonna take a sip of water. This cold, it has been ripping me apart. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. Thankfully though, I'm feeling good enough today to open up this cigarette advent calendar. And I'm very thankful I'm feeling good enough because I have been wanting to open up this cigarette advent calendar for the last couple days. And man, I'm just so glad to be doing so today. But if we want to take a look at the inside right there, and we do want to take a look at the inside, and we can see there's a little hole right there for the cigarettes to sit in. The inside of this is red as well. Very Christmas themed. And that hole right there, I love the fact that it's not just a brick where you just put the cigarette in, it can get jumbled around and stuff like that kind of thing. I love the fact that there's a hole for the cigarette to go in and not get all messed up like when it's moving around and stuff like that kind of thing. Having a cigarette remain in good condition while it's being moved around in a package is always an essential thing, and that's been nailed with this cigarette advent calendar in my personal opinion. Is this cigarette advent calendar a real product? It should be, let me just put it that way. It absolutely should be. But let's go ahead and go over the second row now. So the second row, day number 6 is the first one. Let's go ahead. I'm just gonna hold it like this, and we're just gonna do it like this, I think, honestly. Let's see if I can get it opened up. All right, there we go. So, day number 6, what are we looking at? What are we looking at? We're looking at a Marlboro menthol cigarette. Very cool, very cool. Day number 7, what are we looking at? What are we looking at? Man, I feel like I'm opening like Counter-Strike cases right now, waiting to find like waiting to find like a 1 in 10,000 chance knife or something like that kind of thing. I feel like I'm opening Counter-Strike cases right now.
CS
this is getting the adrenaline going. This is getting the dopamine going. Day number 7. We've covered the first week of December. We're looking at a Marlboro Silver. Marlboro Silver. Very cool, very cool. All right. Day number 8. What are we looking at? Day number 8. What do we have? Let's take a look. Let's get it open. And let's get the cigarette out. We're looking at a Marlboro NXT. Very, very, very cool. All right. Day number 9. Day number 9. We're past the first week. Get this all opened up. Oh, I think I opened it up wrong. My bad. My bad. I opened it up a little bit wrong. It is what it is. Nothing I can do about it. Let's see. Let's see. All right. So we're looking at, in this one, a Marlboro Menthol Blue. Day number 10. Okay. There we go. What are we looking at? We are looking at a Marlboro Special Select Red. Ooh, Marlboro Special Select Red. That's a pretty special cigarette. I feel like that's a rare one. No complaints. No complaints. Man, I think like one way to make this advent calendar like even more marketable is to make it where there's like a 1 in 10,000 chance you get like a really rare cigarette or something like that kind of thing. Gambling advent calendar. Gambling cigarette advent calendar. Just imagine, cigarette advent calendar that has pay-to-win microtransactions. That's probably been done by some online gambling site already, actually, honestly. If it hasn't, I think it will be now because I've just said that idea out loud. I'll have to go ahead and copyright that real quick. I love this cigarette advent calendar. It's so good. Let's go ahead and see day number 11. Day number 11. All right. Let's see. What are we looking at? Day number 11. All right. We are looking at another Marlboro Black. Very cool. Very cool. Day number 12. What are we looking at? All right. Day number 12. We're looking at a Marlboro Red Label, also known as what I think was previously the Marlboro Mediums. I'm pretty sure. Could be wrong about that. Day number 13. All right, what are we looking at? Day number 13. We are looking at Ooh, what are we thinking? What's going to be in here? We are looking at, all right, a Marlboro Menthol Silver. What's next? Day number 14. Day number 14. Ooh. We are looking at, oh, this one didn't quite open up all the way. Let's get that opened up the rest of the way. All right, cigarette we're looking at is a Marlboro Smooth Ice. Ooh, definitely. As we're getting towards the 25th on the advent calendar, we're noticing a bit more menthols kind of thing. We're noticing a little bit more menthols, and I feel like that's kind of the advent calendar trying to get you into the Christmas spirit, I'd have to say. I like that. I like that. Let's go ahead. Day number 15. Marlboro Red once again. You know, the classic Marlboro Red. Can't go wrong with it, and it wouldn't be a Marlboro advent calendar without a bunch of Marlboro Reds. That's what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? Let's go ahead. All right, day number 16. Got to be careful not to open up the 25th. Got to be careful not to open up this one quite yet. All right, let's go ahead and see, though. Day number 16. Let's see if I can get it opened up. Oh, there we go. Just like that. All right, what are we looking at? What are we looking at? We're looking at another Marlboro Red. Hey, as said, it would not be a Marlboro advent calendar without a bunch of Marlboro Reds. That's what I'm saying. And let's go and see. Day number 17. All right, what are we looking at? Day number 17. Oh man, my finger. My finger. Ow. Advent calendars, they be hurting. But let's go ahead and see. All right. Day number 17. What are we looking at? What are we looking at? We are looking at a Marlboro Menthol Gold. Very nice. Very nice. Day number 18. Oh, day number 18. It's a bit hard to open. There we go. All right. We are looking at a Marlboro Midnight Menthol, another uncommon cigarette. Man, I feel like I just unboxed a karambit with a very specific like pattern on it from a case in Counter-Strike. Just got a little bit of a rare cigarette there. No complaints. Day number 19. What's going to be in day number 19? We got a rare one for day number 18. What do we think for day number 19? Are we going to get two in a row? Are we going to get two rare cigarettes in a row? What are we thinking? Marlboro Bold Ice. Not two rare cigarettes in a row, but we got another menthol. Really trying to get us into the Christmas cheer. The closer we get to Christmas, this advent calendar is trying to get us this Christmas cheer, and I like that. I like that. Day number 20. What are we looking at? All right. We are looking at Marlboro Black Menthol. Another menthol cigarette. Very nice. Very nice. Day number 21. We're getting close. We're getting close to Christmas. Day number 21 is a Marlboro Southern Cut. Yo, now that's what I'm talking about. One of my favorite Marlboro cigarettes of all time. Love it. What are we looking at for day number 22? Day number 22 is, all right, Marlboro Black Gold. Ooh, what are their new cigarettes? I see what Marlboro's trying to do. They've got a new cigarette. This was released like only 2 years ago. Stick a new cigarette in the advent calendar. Get people to try the new cigarette. Get them hooked. I understand what they're doing. It makes sense. Love it. Love it. And let's go.
Bro, he's
day
role playing.
number 23. All right. 2 days till Christmas.
Oh, is this actually real?
23. What is the cigarette?
Oh, no.
We've
You
got
almost got
the
me, bro.
Marlboro Menthol Smooths. What is, in my opinion, probably the most Christmassy Marlboro Menthol cigarette out there. This is a very Christmassy cigarette. Makes sense why it's so close to Christmas. Day number 24. What are we looking at? All right. Day number 24. What's it gonna be? All right. So, Marlboro Red. A makes sense. Christmas Eve. Day number 24, December 24th, Marlboro Red. You know, honestly, it makes perfect sense. All right, so that's every single day opened up besides today, Christmas. And this one is a little bit bigger than the
Bro,
other.
I
This one
actually am.
goes all the way.
I actually am,
It's a little
bro.
bit bigger. It's a little bit bigger. So what's gonna be in this one? Well, oh, that's actually really
I
satisfying.
had to restart stream.
What's gonna be in this one? What's gonna be in this one? Well, let's go and get it opened up and find out. Oh, it's a little bit tough. Let me use my.
I'm almost done. I'm almost
Get
done.
more leverage.
I paused it.
Okay. All right.
I don't know how I'm gonna edit that though.
There we go.
Don't know
Took a
how.
moment, but I got it. All right. What's it gonna be?
I don't know how I'm gonna edit
it.
it.
It's gonna be a full pack of Marlboro Blend 27s. Now that's what I'm.
Is that a
about.
crazy pull?
Full, fresh pack of Marlboro Blend 27s. Now that that is a good Christmas gift from this cigarette advent calendar right here and right there.
What else could possibly be in here?
Pack is supposed to go. Ooh, man, I gotta admit, I absolutely love it. Super.
Okay, I'm gonna end there.
According to Texas Penal Code section.
Oh.
If your name starts with a U, this is for you.
This is a damn killer. Chicago underground legend and cloud rap pioneer. This guy went from touring Europe with Young Lean and Blade and turning down a record deal from Kanye West to being blackballed from the industry and being forced to resort to DoorDash to feed his kid. And somehow, after all that, had his career revived through viral TikTok memes. This is the insane rise, fall, and weird resurrection of a damn killer.
I'm flying in the sky, I feel like blood. The way I done my hair pink like a pill.
A damn. That is so much fun to say. A damn. A damn killer was born and raised in Chicago, being heavily influenced by the music coming out of his city. And by the time he was a teen, he was freestyling in the same rap circles as people like Chance the Rapper and Lucky.
We used to be going to this thing called U Media, so that's how I knew Chance. That's
I
how
fuck
met
with
Taylor,
that.
his
I
brother.
fuck with
That's
that
how I met
move.
A lot of people Lucky.
I actually
like,
didn't
all of
fuck
Chicago
with
used to be going there. That's how we all really know
him
each other.
on all
It's crazy that,
fours.
like,
I didn't fuck.
every
I watched that
rapper in
whole
Chicago
podcast.
somehow knows each other.
Both of them.
The fuck is that? His genre-defying sound made him perfect for
'Cause I
Swing's
fuck with
year
Goblin, though.
0001 label. They weren't just artists, they were building a subculture, and Adam fit perfectly in it. The music, the fashion, the mystique, everything made sense. And they'd eventually all tour Europe together. Songs like 10 with Young Lean,
She sex all on my sofa. I can't wait forever, swear I told her.
and Psycho with Blade,
I'm sweating hard as hell, my jail sweater down. Paid about 650 for these feathers.
helped define his identity in this niche. Suddenly, this experimental
I
kid
gotta
from Chicago
tap
was touring
in.
alongside cloud rap royalty. But beneath the surface, things were getting pretty messy. At the height of his rise, Adam accused his manager of being quote-unquote funny with some money, giving him his cut of the tour money and then charging him for studio time and rides.
So I recorded a whole tape in Sweden, and then mind you, they charging me for all the studio time. I got back to Chicago. I'm like, yo, send me the songs. And then the engineer, he was like, oh, you gotta ask Emilio. And then they wouldn't send me the fucking songs.
Just all around being slimy as hell. And when that relationship went sour, the loyalty shifted. Adam had zero connection to his former collective. Once his manager was gone, so was the industry backing. He wasn't just independent, he was isolated. And his momentum started to crash bad. But then came a good opportunity. In 2018, Kanye West offered him a record deal for a whopping $30,000. This man wanted him to sign over his publishing for a year's salary at McDonald's. He obviously declined because he knew his worth. But saying no to Kanye at this time, when you have literally no
Why
team
did
behind
Kanye
you,
do that,
no
bro?
fan base supporting you, and no real form of income, it's super risky. Then came Lil Uzi Vert. Uzi, one day, hosted Adam's music and then made him his Twitter header. And that cosign sparked a new hope. Behind the scenes, he put everything he had into a feature. With a baby on the way, he sent his last $20,000 to Lil Uzi Vert. And Uzi did in fact deliver a song.
Yeah, I'm on the beach and I got a plan. Yeah, and I can tell that she got a man. Give me the rats, I go.
But when it came time to release it, his label Generation Now, DJ Drama, and Don Cannon. I hate that I have these stems. Can't help. Don Cannon. So fun. asked for an additional $50,000 to clear it. $20,000 down the drain for a song that was never intended to come out. The man didn't just get played, he got robbed.
You don't got my money ready, I'm leaving. Every season, 8 ounce season. Give him the beat with a switch and beat it. Give him the beat and I'm mistreated.
Broke, blackballed, and a newly found father, Adam did what he had to do. Retired from rap and turned to crypto. Living a relatively normal life, he just traded meme coins all day and DoorDash to get by. But he never stopped creating. He never stopped posting. And when he hopped out of music retirement, the internet circled back.
Did you know that jellyfish could live forever? Did you know I came in a monster sweater?
In 2024, his chaotic presence on TikTok exploded. His signature emotes,
Are you afraid of the crowd? Baby girl, why don't you stay with me tonight?
his funny captions,
If you're bipolar, this is for you.
and the music he was making.
I need me a torta. I'm a torta pounder. If she not heavy set, I can't be around her.
Was the perfect combination to go viral and help garner him momentum to get back into music. Adam was back, not just as a rapper, but as a personality, a walking piece of internet art. He just a couple days ago held a meetup at the Bean in Chicago and apparently had so many people show up that he's now effectively banned from the location. Or at least that's what he said. I don't know if he's telling the truth. But aside from all the memes, he's been dropping legitimate music as well.
I just love my dick, so I just gotta find another one. Dance. I just lost the money, so I gotta get some more than once.
His project Freaky Summer dropped last year, and even though the name and the cover is crazy, there are some legit bangers on there. There's songs like Twerk on there,
She looking good when she twerk. Go. Throw it back, lift up your shirt. Go.
Lil Nosy,
She just called my phone when she be getting lonely. We ain't talking years and you don't even know.
Who You,
I see a bad bitch and then I say who you. I think I'm a cowboy snakeskin on my shoes.
not gonna lie, shit's hard. Some people laugh at a damn killer. Some people laugh with a damn killer. But what's undeniable is this. A damn story is bigger than just the music. It's about resilience. It's about reinvention. And it's about being authentic. But what do you think? Is it his fault that he's in the position that he's in? Do you think his career will ever hit the trajectory that it did when he initially came out? Or is he just gonna be another TikTok meme rapper forever? Let me know in the comments. Make sure to like and subscribe. And as always, I'll see y'all next time.
Excuse me, sir.
Oh, this is like
I'm
a
looking
real
for a
video.
job.
I've got here a 200-watt drone motor, so you might be wondering why I've decided to strap it to my wrist. In the words of my grandma,
Can I sort of start at the very beginning?
I've been working on a device to help mitigate my grandma's tremor. In a previous video, I was able to find some success with a passive tuned mass damper system,
That's amazing.
but I think I can do better. A lot better. In fact, in this video, I end up trying 5 different ideas to see if I can finally beat this tremor. This idea comes from a product, Gyro Gear, which uses a gyroscope to stabilize the hand. A spinning mass with sufficient angular momentum will resist changes to its axis of rotation and stay steady. Just picture a spinning top, which maintains its balance even if you tap it gently. The keyword here is gently. A top isn't going to resist big forces, and in order to generate enough angular momentum in a spinning mass to steady a shaking hand, we need to spin it really fast. First thing though, I'm just curious what it feels like to hold a gyroscope, so I geared up some computer fan motors and tried to get this mass spinning.
Come on, working before.
These motors just aren't going to cut it, so let me try a brushless DC motor from a drone. This has much more power, and I can clip on some mass to increase the moment of inertia. And moving this around feels very odd. It's not necessarily stable, the side-to-side motion seems to be converting into a sort of rotation of the hand. Now, after looking into this, it turns out that rotation is called nutation, a sort of wobbling around the axis of rotation. The faster we spin, the smaller this becomes, so I either need much more mass or much more speed, but this motor already sounds like a jet trying to take off. So I'm going to try another approach that I encountered while researching satellite stabilization. You may recall that every force has an equal and opposite force. Pushing a ball to the right pushes this person back to the left. The same is true in a rotating frame. If I spin something to the right, it will create an opposite torque spinning to the left. Here you can see if I attach the motor to my hand and start it up, a small torque is applied to my hand in the opposite direction. If I can program this motor to always spin in the opposite direction of the tremor, it could cancel out the forces. That means I need to somehow track the tremor, but I can do that with an accelerometer. This will tell me in which direction the hand is tilting and how quickly. I'll program the motor to rotate in response to the accelerometer. If it tilts one way, the motor spins the opposite way. I'll add some mass to the motor's shaft and attach it to my wrist. Now if I tilt my hand one way, it revs up in the opposite direction. I've modified my tremor simulator from last video to now simulate wrist rotation. The wrist is coupled to the motor only with springs tuned to its oscillating frequency. This just means that the wrist is uncoupled from the motor, so while the motor is driving the wrist to rotate, it can still be held steady. I'll do a test where the device is turned on and one where it is turned off to see if there's a change. The tremor looks like it's reduced, and that's great. However, practically speaking, the device is just too big and too loud. Now I managed to reduce the form factor, but ultimately I wasn't able to get anything that was sufficiently small and powerful enough to be practical. Not to mention, it would have to be battery powered, charged regularly, not get wet, and I think most importantly, it's just completely disruptive in volume. So while in principle that was quite effective, I decided to go back to the drawing board and see if I can improve on the previous passive device. I elaborate more on this in the previous video, but basically, if I can build something with a mass that wants to oscillate at the same frequency as the tremor, the energy from the tremor can go into the mass instead of into the hand. A classic way to get something to oscillate is with springs, and you can calculate what mass and what spring strength you need to get the right oscillation, in our case, 5 Hz. The previous version had made use of 4 springs, but ultimately it was too big and was too floppy. So I put together a model for a new version that was a bit more compact and had room for a bunch of springs to account for different angles. After buying a bunch of springs and none of them being quite right, I made my own out of guitar strings. I installed all the springs and wound a copper wire around the outside so that it would have the right mass to oscillate at the right frequency. I put it on the tremor simulator and, well, it was a complete flop. The mass was just way too much for the springs to handle. So I thought, okay, maybe instead of having springs, I'll have the bracelet oscillate using something else, maybe cantilevers. Springs aren't the only thing that can oscillate, lots of things do. I saw some research by Sarah Gabai that showed it might be promising to suppress tremor with a cantilever, i.e. a protruding beam. It's not hard to imagine tapping this beam and that it might oscillate back and forth. So I built my own and tried to keep it as compact as possible. I used a bunch of different materials and masses, and ultimately had the most success with, again, guitar strings. I designed a bracelet with 4 locations for cantilevers to slot into, and brought it to my grandma to test. Guys, I somehow lost that footage, but you're not missing much. While it had a slightly better form factor, it worked a bit worse and kept breaking. And crucially, it was only keeping the wrist steady, which was never the main culprit. The hand was the problem. And this is the thing that took me so long to notice. The hand is shaky, but the wrist mostly isn't. So that gave me a final idea. Forget the high tech. Maybe I can just use a stick. Well, a fancy stick. It could strap onto the wrist and have a handle at the top to hold tight to. Then the hand is braced against the wrist and kept steady. And guys, this idea was so simple that it actually worked.
See, there's like no shaking there. That's minimal.
So much better. It's much easier it's an easier movement.
Yeah.
Into my mouth.
Look at you move, Ma. All right. Oh my gosh. I can't keep up with you. All right.
It's such fun, Tristan. You've no idea. I feel quite famous already. Thank you.
There's room for improvement, and I'll keep making changes, but this is a result that I'm very much surprised by and very happy with.
I have a severe genetic condition that...
Are we rolling? What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Cursed Gun Images, one of your most favorite and one of my least favorite videos on the channel. One where I go through some of the internet's most cursed gun images. Some of these are just things I found on the internet. Some of them are submitted directly by you, the viewer, because you love to watch me suffer. I'm your host, Brandon Barbera. Let's get into the Glockenspiel torture. Right out the gate, have you ever wanted to be in a bout of fisticuffs, but also want to shoot squirrels and or injure people? I introduce to you 22 caliber brass knuckles.
I'm trying to put it.
It's gonna be a long video. Funny enough, I think according to the NFA, this weapon is technically classified as an AOW or any other weapon. If you look, there's a bunch of weird shit, like as far as disguised firearms that end up on the AOW list. Like you still have
I don't
to
remember how to like
stamp,
confirm
bucks,
the
like
channel.
$5. Already autistically in the weeds. Anyhow, this does bring a whole new meaning to the term.
Bro, it's never loud enough, bro.
Also, I just love the practical application of this. Implies that if you're going to hit somebody with it, you're going to also shoot the guy directly to
Good night,
the left.
man.
Funny enough,
Happy
that's also how I won
holidays.
my boxing match. Mom, I want Mosin Nagant. We have Mosin Nagant at home. Mosin Nagant at home. Yet, I don't know if this works or not, but this is kind of psychotic. I think the intent is to make this like kind of a takedown rifle. Either that or maybe it's just a meme. But turning a Mosin into something that you use like a pump action BB gun you had when you were a kid. There's latches and shit there. This might be somewhat functional. Either way, terminally online. And for the Barbie girl in a Barbie world, we have whatever this AR-15 is. Look, I think that just marketing things specifically to women by just throwing pink shit on it is already kind of cringe. Women and like, flamboyantly gay dudes. But that wasn't enough to include it in Cursed Gun Images if it wasn't for the fucking Labubu hanging off the handguard. It's like a Funko Pop, but fucking worse somehow. I don't get it. I don't understand this generation. 6'7", fuck you. Yeah. Next. Oh boy, that didn't take long. What is it with firearms seized in other countries and like their obsession with plastidip bullshit? This looks like a CZ with leprosy. Oh god, this is from Jamaica. I just saw the top left. Hey man, why you got... No, I'm not doing that. Honestly, this is probably the best of the improvised guns we have in this lineup. You guys all remember the famous Smith & Methson, right? Never underestimate the ability of somebody who's high on meth to find the most complicated way of doing something you can buy.
Wait, did he show it? Because I remember
There's
it.
this one I found recently, which is a what appears to be a 22 dollars. There's this one, find the most complicated way, right? Never improvised guns we have in this lineup. You guys all remember the famous Smith & Methson, right? Never underestimate the ability of somebody who's high on meth to find the most complicated way of doing something you can buy for $150. There's this one I found recently, which is a what appears to be a 22 LR revolver with the signature grip tape, which I have to wonder if this was even ever remotely functional. I see there's that little spring there attached to the barrel, like, to the hammer that like you pull it back. It's got the bones. It might work. What I'm really concerned about is that barrel, which looks real fucking small, even for 22 LR. Not only that, it looks notably inconsistent and possibly
It's not
crooked.
to scale.
This whole thing makes a lot more sense when you realize the other details of why this was confiscated. It was a guy, also potentially high on meth, impersonating a law enforcement officer, specifically a U.S. Marshal, in what has got to be the most convincing costume I've ever seen. I really have to admire his optimism for thinking he would get far enough along with that jacket to think that he needed to have a convincing working handgun. And then there's whatever the fuck this is, which, I mean, it looks like a fairly straightforward, just pull back, fire, 22 caliber. And I understand why a lot of these people just use 22 LR. I mean, it's fairly simple. It's low pressure, very low chance of blowing up, and still potentially fatal. I mean, it's not going to do a whole lot of damage, but I mean, with the AM-180, it was considered less lethal. Which really just means being a cop in the 1960s was fucking wild. Not getting too far off topic, but if I do not see an AM-180 in the
Fallout.
new season of Fallout, I'm going to show my ass. But anyhow, out of all the crackhead guns I've seen, this is probably the one that, in my eyes, looks most likely to work just from an outsider's perspective. That was until I saw the ammunition it was seized with. So you see a couple of different loads in the same box of CCI. You've got, your typical lead projectiles for a 22, a bunch of crimped cases implying that they are blanks, possibly used in the testing to make sure that they could actually set off the rimfire primer. And then you zoom out and you see what I can only describe as 22 caliber thunder, which I love isn't even straight. Like, it's visibly fucking crooked. Does this look normal? On meth it is.
This is your brain on drugs.
Now this one comes straight from our brothers in the English language, the UK. Turns out a young man has converted a staple gun to be able to fire live cartridges. You may remember this oldie but goodie from Cursed Gun Images long ago, where somebody had converted a staple gun to be able to fire a 22 caliber long rifle. Judging by the ruler in the bottom right-hand corner of this photo, I'm assuming it was also a crime when they did it. But apparently a man by the name of Jamie Young in the UK was given a 5-year sentence for doing the same thing. This is also just telling me that staple guns are apparently alarmingly easy to convert if you have the willpower and, again, potentially methamphetamine. But that's crazy, converting something off the shelf to be a single-shot weapon and getting 5 years in prison. In the United States, as long as you're not a felon, making your own guns is perfectly legal. That being said, this is also the UK, where if you say a naughty tweet, you also get thrown in prison. Pour one out for the homies stuck behind enemy lines in the UK. We love you, we see you, we are equally embarrassed on your behalf by your government. Seriously, the free speech stuff is getting fucking bad in the UK right now. What was that one recently where they had the woman who got sexually assaulted by somebody, and then she said a naughty thing about the person who had sexually assaulted her, and then she was the one who got arrested? Fucking insane. I've never been more proud of my ancestors for throwing tea in that harbor. Anyhow, while we're shitting on European countries, let's go to the French. Don't tell Ian I said this, but I still, I haven't put hands on the FAMAS yet. I'm not sure what to feel about it until I do, but I do know a lot of the French rifle enjoyers seem to defend it quite a lot. So for all of you who stan the FAMAS, may I present to you Thomas the Tank Rifle. It's just a shitty FAMAS skin. Look, it's still my opinion the best thing to ever come out of France was Expedition 33. The FAMAS has to earn my love. I will say, however, this does remind me of the original fucking Mac 11 lunchbox, or whatever the fuck that was, the Thomas the Tank Engine, like little clamshell thing with the Mac 11 in it. And if you've been a fan of the channel for a while, you already know why I brought that up.
I got 7 Mac 11s, about 8, 38s, 9, 9, 10 Mac 10s, the shit's never end.
Maybe this is old. There's nothing I love more than like shitty early 2000s internet humor. Back before we had AI slop to generate this shit, right? Somebody had to have autism. Respect. This next one is like when you're driving home and you want McDonald's. No, we have McDonald's at home. Well, what if you're driving home and you want an MP7? Well, apparently Poland has an answer for that as well. MP7 at home. Yeah, apparently the Polish PM63 was being converted over into a relatively modern submachine gun, or PDW, however you want to put it, which looks like a big plastic housing on the front that just, yeah, it's kind of a conversion kit. I mean, fuck, actually half of these look 3D printed. I'm just now seeing the layer lines on the one in the bottom left. Which, look, I can't really talk shit. I mean, before I had MP7, I had MP7 at home. It's cool until you realize it's cope. Cope from it, seethe from it, MP7 arrives all the same. At the end of the day, cope is in the eye of the beholder. Now, a lot of you are probably familiar with ghost guns. You know, 80% lowers, whether it be like a Glock or an AR-15 that are made of various different materials. A lot of them are polymer. Some, especially the AR-15s, are aluminum. One that you don't often see is wood. Wood with a bunch of screws and an erector set worth of fucking steel brackets. I don't know what kind of upper that is, but I guarantee it's a PSA. Honestly, just for the meme, I kind of respect it. Especially when you realize that the buffer tube and the stock are just fucking PVC pipe. There's no end to that buffer tube. It just keeps going, actually straight up through the plumbing, through the pipes, into the underwater level of Super Mario. On a scale of 1 to dangerous, fuck it, I'd try it. Now this next one looks like a fairly innocuous, just modern carbine. Except to a tiny margin of you out there that are nerds and have played Escape from Tarkov. In which case, if you take a closer look at the receiver, you'll notice it's actually a Keter. You know that super shitty starter, scav, submachine gun you get in that game? Say what you will, when you're barely scraping by, that Keter makes the cheddar. Apparently some company in Russia, I guess, was turning these into full-on, full-length carbines. Barrel length and everything, a necessity in Russia to be able to sell it to the civilian market without being labeled as a pistol. So in general, that's already kind of cursed. But if you just zoom in on that muzzle brake, I can't let this go. The Ketter's chambered in 9x18 Makarov, typically. That is an obnoxiously large muzzle brake. On top of that, I will never understand the Russian fascination. Pull up the inside of like a VSS suppressor, okay? I'll never understand the Russian obsession with just putting bent washers in shit. I do want a Keter. Is it good? I don't know, probably not. But I just want one. One of these days. Now to something I don't want. When we think about combat rifles, we tend to leave out the combat rifles of our forefathers. It's not all just AR-15 derivatives. There were things that people marched into combat long ago with, like, for example, the Lee Enfield. Saw a bunch of service in World War I and II and was beloved by infantry troops across the globe. And it made it 100 years in the future just for some Redditor to do this. I will never understand the fascination with just putting AK underfolders on everything. Okay, I do kind of understand. AK underfolding stocks are like cheap as fuck. So like if you're just like looking at like trash blasters and like crazy shit, crazy projects to do, I kind of get it. Also, the irony was not lost on me that the only Lee Enfield I have in this room is that one. In my defense, there's historical precedent for that, but we'll get into that later. No, we won't. I got into it before. I made a whole video about it. Yeah, no, straight up, that's an AK underfolding stock that's affixed to that. You know, AK underfolding stocks, notorious for their great cheek welds. Look, I want to hate it. I really do. The more I look at it, it kind of goes hard. I don't know, you tell me what you think. Cursed or, you know, maybe blurst. You know, not quite blessed, not quite cursed. It just, something about this is hitting a funny bone with me. I'm not sure. Do you feel the same? But alas, is it really a Cursed Gun Images episode if you don't have a High Point? I still need to make a handguard for it, but here she is. A High Point JHP 45. The frame comes off with 2 bolts in under a minute. AK underfolder. Again, with the AK underfolders. Just a fucking washer over it with a screw. High Point owners, you know. I love he's got like the spray painted fake light on the slide on one side. I'm very curious. The longer I look at this, the more confusing it is. Look at that spring on the barrel. And the fact that this is 45 ACP, but you have like a fucking Walmart hunting scope on top. Looks like the stock at least does collapse, which is, you know, at least that's relatively functional. But man, that stock angle is absurdly low. Absolutely no cheek weld in sight if you're using that scope. But you know what? Fuck it, it's a High Point. These are like the classiest of the meth heads building guns. The aristocracy of the Smith & Methson class, if you will. But at least most of the High Point enthusiasts don't have access to a welder, because then things could get really nasty. Drumroll, please. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't have a name for it. Best I got is the low point. It seems to be predominantly a PPS 43 with a Thompson foregrip and a high point upper on top, clutched together with what I can only assume is
This
a MIG
is an
welder and some
insane
JB
gun.
weld. The PPS with the wood stock does go kind of fucking hard, but not now. You got the mag well right below. Oh god, I don't know. There's so many. The question in my mind is always like, does this actually function? And in this case, the answer is, I hope not. I mean, the magwell's in the right place, but I guess just to harken back to an old cursed gun images joke, where to bolt go though? I don't see anywhere for it to actually cycle, but either way, this is actually the gun that inspired me to make another one of these videos because it just hurts my fucking retinas. And if I had to see it, then so do you. Ugh. Anyhow, I'm about to bleach my fucking eyeballs and recalcify my pineal gland. I appreciate you guys for staying all the way to the end, and as always, I will see you sexy YouTube mother lovers in the next video. Thank you, and if I don't see you until then, Merry Christmas.
Fuel is my obsession.